Today we're going to cover how to get out of an unwanted hug. We're going to talk about some realistic scenarios where this may happen to us, or maybe it's already happened to you. We're going to cover 2 different techniques to get out of it, depending on the distance and circumstance. And one thing to remember is that this is level 1 technique, which means the threat is low and a reaction to it is also going to be according to that. So we're not going to kick or punch or put a person in a pin or take him down or anything crazy like that. We're just going to show we're strong and that we're not to be messed with. Okay, then I'm also going to show some drills that you can practice on your own. And I'm going to cover an example that's very realistic so you can see what it looks like in a situation. And finally, before I let you go, I'm going to show you one hack that while you're training in this and improving and getting better, this hack will help you get started. So let's get started. So what are some realistic scenarios and situations where this could happen to us? Perhaps it's just a group of friends, we have some male friends and they like to really hug us tightly and bring it in and we're not really comfortable with that. Okay, it could be another scenario where perhaps you're dating and maybe it's your first, second or third date and this guy really likes to bring you in and you don't feel comfortable with that. It could also be perhaps you're out at a bar with friends and it could be a friend who's drunk or a stranger who's drunk and he throws himself on you. Okay, it could be even a very, very aggressive scenario where somebody wants to hold you in and really hold you tight. So let's discover this and talk about different techniques to use. This is the picture framing technique. So when you have somebody come and approach you and you know this hug is coming, what you're going to do is create some space by putting a foot back, a nice gentle angle, and you're going to create a frame so you can stop them from coming too close. So I'm going to have my partner right here who's going to help us demonstrate this. Okay, so you're here, this person's approaching you. It's like, oh hey, how's it going? I'm just creating that frame right there. Now maybe this person's a little bit more aggressive. So instead of this frame that you want just gently on his shoulder, you might want to take it a little bit up. Okay, so what that looks like is this person's coming at you. You want to put the arm that's in front, the leg that's in front, that's the same side arm as the front arm. It's bent, it goes right in the person's neck. Now I'm 5'4", my partner is 6 feet tall. It's really comfortable, this angle, this height, okay? The back arm is an anchor. You need to complete your frame. It's just half a frame, right? So he can collapse my arm in, not very good for me, especially if he's aggressive. So my back arm is going to hold on to my front arm and it's straight. Back arm, front arm bend, back arm straight. Now it's nice and locked. If I bend my knees, see, it's connected to my body. So you see how my body's moving. If anything, my whole body moves. My frame doesn't collapse. And it doesn't feel like I have to use my arm strength to hold him back. It's just nice connected to my body, so he can't come in. That is one way of preparing to make sure the person doesn't come too close. This technique now is the cat squeeze technique. So if you're unable to keep the person at bay and they just surprise you and come and squeeze you and your arms are by your side, then how do we get out of it? Okay, just like a cat, imagine, wiggling your paws out and go here. Okay, no, not really. But okay, I'm going to show you what you're going to do. Okay, I'm going to have my partner here help us demonstrate this technique. Okay, so here I am completely caught off guard and this person just squeezes me. Wow, not a very good place to be. Okay, so my hands, if you notice, okay, they can still come up. So I squeeze, because it's all muscle, I squeeze up and I put my punches in his solar plex. And I can then step back and push him forward. Okay, so this is what it looks like if there's space. Okay, just if you watch here, I'm here, squeeze, 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 squeeze. Right here, my fist. I'm not punching him, there's no space for that, but right roughly where the solar plexus are, if I push this and step back, it gives me that space. It's not using my upper arm strength, it's using my core strength, which is what I want to do. Okay, so here he is, he might squeeze me super tightly and there's no space, keep squeezing me good, and here my arms are, find that spot. Dude, stop it. That's how you do that technique, the cat squeeze. If you ever have a kitty cat, you probably know what I'm talking about. we're going to drill the picture framing technique. So what you want to do when you get started with this is face an imaginary person and get used to putting your foot back and hands up, okay? So get used to doing that. And once you've kind of found that balance, I want you to start just unlocking your knees. So instead of being fully straight up, you're right here. So you have a lot more balance and control, okay? So you're gonna do this, okay? And if you just wanna do that without your hands, go ahead and do that right here. Once you're used to this, it's comfortable, you're gonna put your hands up. Okay, drill that a couple times, same side. And once you have that, you're gonna just pick your front hand. So you're gonna step back, and here you are. You're gonna imagine this person, how tall he is, where his neck is, okay? Step back, bend a little bit, and hands come up all together. Hand comes up, front hand, right here. Once you're used to that, you've gotten used to that technique, you're going to use your back hand as well. So here you are, step, bend, front hand, bend, back hand, straight. All right. You can do it in pieces. Right? Step, bend, front, back. Step, unlock, front, back. Okay? And then see if you can make it smooth, all one shot, all together. And once you've drilled it several times this side, you feel really comfortable with all of the motions happening together, as opposed to 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. Then start drilling the other side. Okay? Same thing. Get used to it. All right, I've got the step back, bend knee, front arm, back arm. All of it together until you can reach a point where you can do it all together. Just like that. Make sure your back hand's straight and front hand's bent. And there we go. Now we're going to drill the cat squeeze technique. So if you're caught off guard and somebody squeezes you, puts you in a hug, you don't have the time to create a frame and your hands are by your side, here's what we're going to do, okay? You're going to first just get used to bringing your hands, sliding it up into a punch, and then while your elbows are still by your side, drop your shoulders and push them out, okay? Just do that a couple times, slide. And you want to feel not in your arms, you want to feel this in your core. When you're pushing it out, you're not pushing with your arm. You're pushing it out, you're pushing with your core. Propeller, your core is your propeller, okay? Once you get used to that, you want to start stepping back. This is kind of the reverse of our picture framing technique. So here now I have this, I'm going to step back. Doesn't matter which foot you put back, just do one for now. And now instead of overextending my arms, I want to make sure that I push it far out enough to create distance, and the elbows, my elbows are far into my body where it's engaged with my core. Right here, my shoulders are forward, disengaged from my body, right? But I roll my shoulders back, closer to my body, elbows a little bit in, just slightly, but a little bit in. Now, it's entirely my core. So when the person pushes back on me, guess what? I have this ability, okay? So that's what you're gonna do on this side. You have stand straight, come up, squeeze, step back, push out, shoulder drops, arm is bent. Okay, one more time, squeeze up, drop your shoulder, push out, step back, slight knee bend. Okay, now drill that the other side as well. You're here, drill it. And if you just want to understand what this feels like, you can hold this position, shoulder back, elbow in, and just move around. Feel your core engage. Step, 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 step. Right? Just get used to that motion. And then once you feel it, then get started again and drill it. Both sides. There you have it. Before I share that one easy hack for you, post in the comments below. What questions do you have? Has this happened to you before? What do you think so far? If everything lined up perfectly and you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, I'd like to invite you to subscribe and follow us. All right, on to that hack. Okay, so you're learning how to be assertive, maybe even say, hey, stop, back off, put your hands up, have that position. But now you're still kind of in the initial phases. Now think about a work situation, right? You're kind of just awkward, you have to work with this coworker, you don't know how much is appropriate to say or do. Here's one nice hack to get you started, okay? So here's what you're gonna do. When someone tries to give you a hug, especially at work, when you're just so scared to do anything wrong, the best way, the safest, easiest thing to do is put one hand up. Instead of opening yourself up or just standing there like a dummy, you can put one hand up while you'll kind of sort of figure out what you're doing with the other hand. So what that does is while you have this hand up, you can gently push the other person. Now, any person who's hugging you will understand that, oh, okay, that's not comfortable. So if they're really a decent person, they're going to back off and say, oh, I'm sorry, and then that gives you an opportunity to then say something. Now, if you're really doing that, you're putting your hand up and that person really isn't budging and they're still squeezing tight, then you know they're not up to anything good. And now you're ready to kick it up a notch because they really pissed you off, right? Okay, so try that hack, right? One hand, just one hand right here in front of you and see how that works out for you. Okay, so if you like to sign up for your free training, go ahead and go to defenseninjas.com/etraining. See you in the next video.